To perform maintenance or cleaning on the units, it's best to take an overall look and see what you're going to be dealing with, what supplies are going to be needed, and so on and so forth. So what you're going to want to do is just start by this unit. I've already, obviously the hood's open. I removed the front access panel so that I can see what I'm dealing with inside the motherboard. And that's, again, there's a Torx T20 bit star bit here and here. You don't have to totally remove it, you just raise them and the plate comes off. That's all I've done. Obviously the foil cassette's been removed and there's no card weight or cards in the unit, but you just want to observe and look to see if there's a lot of dust and dirt and debris thing in the bottom of the case. You can also look inside here on the motherboard. You can see that there's a layer of dust there, but this one's actually not too bad. Some of them you'll see, dust bunnies and things in there. You can assess again the bottom. Just look for dirt, how dusty it is. Just a general observation of the condition, layer of dirt, dust, things like that. And then it's usually a good idea to start out with your canned air, or I use an electric blower. Just start out by just blowing anything that you can out. Alright, so we just, in general, blow it out. The other thing you can do is, again, your microfiber towel, take a clean microfiber towel. It does a really good job of collecting the dust. You can wipe the base down. This one's actually really good shape and clean, but all the different surfaces, use Q-tips, you can use pipe cleaners, brushes. I have various brushes that I use that I can get into cracks and crannies to remove dust and things like that. Wipe it down. You can wipe the base down, flat surfaces where things collect. On this, again, don't put a lot of pressure on this, but it'll collect here. If it's properly maintained, there shouldn't be a lot of dust, because it should be in an environment where it's clean, on a flat, stable surface, with not on carpet, that is climate controlled, and that you shouldn't have a lot of dust problems anyway. But once you blow it out, wipe it off, you can just look at each individual component to determine, again, what you're dealing with. You can look at the bottom of your, the plating of your topper. This one, again, is pretty clean. You can look at the condition of O-rings. This is one of the O-rings that you would look at on the foil take-up. This one actually feels tacky. There's no cracks or splits on it, so it would probably be fine. If you want to go ahead and replace those, you can. Then you don't have to worry about it in the future, but that one's not bad. On the rear indent, if that module's installed, there's O-rings that can be replaced there too. You can inspect those. These are what they're designed for, is just to hold these discs on. So it's holding that disc on pretty well. It's tacky. I don't see any reason to replace those. But again, if you want to, you can. That's the tool that I use, I actually I have a pick that I can hook. You have to take this disc off. It just slides off on this slot. So we just push it, and it would slide off. But you can hook that that O-ring and pull it off. The other ones, all the other O-rings, you can roll off and then back on. You can do it just a once over on the belts. If you turn this counterclockwise, that will turn. You can look at that belt. You can look at the condition again. Some of these you come in, there's a lot of grease and debris and dirt that have accumulated on this. This was pretty nice and shiny white. But you can carefully turn this. These fingers are fragile, but you can carefully turn that and look at it. You can roll this cam by pulling it back towards you on this belt and look at the condition of that. That's something that can be wiped down. We'll go more in detail in each one of these components, but just a general assessment of the condition and what you're going to be dealing with and how in depth you're going to have to go to clean it. The operation of the doors, again, there are little tabs here that can break that will allow these to fall down, and it doesn't affect operation, but it can be a pain. There's little things like there's these pins that hold the door on here and here. If you can see that it's sticking out, you can push it back in. Again, just wiping the bottom areas down, blowing it out again after you do all that. Just a basic once over, blowing it out, assessing it, and determining what you're dealing with. You can look at the condition of this roller on the encoder. Look at the transport, this lead screw and the shafts. If there's grease, if there's debris, this should not have any axle grease type or moly grease or any of that kind of stuff on it. It should actually, there's only 2 lubricants that should be used on this. The one that we provide in our maintenance kit, and you can use graphite on this as well. Powdered graphite kind of tends to make a mess, and it'll accumulate powder in there, but you can blow that out. But those are the only 2 lubricants that should be used on the shafts and this drive screw on the transport and the carriage. So you assess that to see what you're going to be dealing with there. If you hold underneath this throat get motor, you can lift that up. You can see how easily and freely that moves up and down. You're going to want to just look at these rollers on the card hopper and see how easily they move. It's going to tell you inspect these O-rings. There's grease applied underneath these rollers, so if it's difficult, it's more likely because that grease has become old. But inspect these rollers with these O-rings on the end. There's 4 right here. Look for cracks. See if the condition of that. The drive belt on the card hopper, same thing. It should be tacky, slightly tacky. There shouldn't be any cracks or drying. If you gently pull or push on this roller, it should turn, on this belt, it should turn the rollers, and then you should see the card hopper go up and down. So just a general once over, look it over to see what you're dealing with, and then we'll get into the individual components as well. I also did a video on naming the different components and a general theory of operation of how it creates a card. And this one's just designed to a general inspection, blow it out, and see what you're dealing with as far as the condition and how dirty and what else is going to be needed to maintain it.